Hey guys, what's up? So we now actually have some of the release for the new cards supporting Marek's archetype and the Winged Dragon of Ra. So this is actually further support for his for the Egyptian god cards in general, and more specifically for the Winged Dragon as well. The first card is Reactor Slime. It's a level 4 water aqua effect monster with 500 attack and 500 defense. And its effect is you can use each among the first and second effects with this card's name only once per turn. 1. During your main phase, you can special summon 2 slime tokens. It's aqua, water, level 1 with 500 attack and 500 defense. Also, you cannot normal summon or special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except divine beast monsters. The second effect is during either player's battle phase, as a quick effect, you can tribute this card, choose one metal reflect slime in your hand, deck, or graveyard, and if you do, set it in your spell and trap zone, and if you do that, it can be activated this turn. So, the first effect lets you get the necessary tribute requirements to bring out one of your Egyptian gods, as they require 3 tributes to summon them. The limitations on the normal summon and special summon aren't so much of a problem, because the whole point is to get out the divine beast monster, the Egyptian gods. And the problem is, what you're going to summon into, you really wouldn't want to summon the Winged Dragon of Ra off of this effect, because it gains attack based on what's been tributed. So this is really only effective for either Slife the Sky Dragon or Obelisk the Tormentor. However, the second effect is quite useful as well. Metal Reflect Slime is a trap monster with 0 attack, but it has 3000 defense. So actually, if you just go into that, that is a decent defense monster. So chances are your opponent isn't going to be able to immediately get over that. It'll save you a turn, potentially. Although I don't think your opponent is going to be stupid enough to, not know what you're doing. They'll probably set up before you're able to do this, as this effect can only be activated during the battle phase. Which I think is a little bit unusual, but, it is what it is. The next card we have is Guardian Slime. This is a level 10 water aqua effect monster with 0 attack and 0 defense. And its effect is you can use each effect among the first, second, and third effects with this card's name only once per turn. 1. If you take battle damage or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. 2. If this card battles an opponent's monster, during damage calculation, you can activate this effect. During this damage calculation only, this card gains defense equal to that opponent's monster's attack. And 3. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add one spell or trap that specifically lists the Winged Dragon of Ra in its text from your deck to your hand. Right. So this is a level 10 monster. That would normally be a bit of an issue, considering that they require 2 tributes to summon them. However, this is offloaded by the first effect, because throughout the duel you'll be taking battle damage or effect damage, so summoning this is not an issue. It also works with the fusion monster requiring an aqua monster, and also requiring a level 10 monster, so this is actually works perfectly well with the synergy. The second effect, it's quite disappointing, because it only gains that defense stat once just for that battle, and that's only during that damage calculation. So if your opponent is smart enough to know what you're doing, or just reads the card, they might go for one of their weaker attack monsters, attack into it. Okay, that attack is essentially cancelled out, because if this isn't defense mode, it can't be run over from that first attack. But this card goes back to 0 defense, and you can basically run it over with anything. So it just blocks one of your opponent's attacks. It's good for stalling strategies. Other than that, it's kind of a bit meh. And the third effect is the one you're actually most important. This allows you to search for a spell trap card that supports the Winged Dragon of Ra. So you can actually bring Ra out a lot easier. And the other benefit is if it's sent from the hand or field to the graveyard. So you could potentially use Polymerization to bring out the new Egyptian God Slime fusion monster. And this would get the search effect off just as easily from that card, which is, again, helping to support the archetype. The next card we have is a spell card. This is Ancient Chant. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn, so this is a hard once per turn. Add one the Winged Dragon of Ra from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and if you do, you can tribute summon one monster during your main phase this turn. In addition to your normal summon set, you can only gain this effect once per turn. And 2, you can banish this card from your graveyard for the rest of this turn. The Winged Dragon of Ra you tribute summon has its original attack and defense. Each become equal to the total original attack and defense of the monsters tributed for that summon. So the first effect is a rote for the deck. It searches out your Winged Dragon of Ra or recovers it from the graveyard. And I think there's a card called Card of Advance, which is similar to this in that it gives you an additional normal summon. The whole purpose of this is if you need a summon to bring your monsters to 3, and then to bring it out, it makes the whole process of summoning a monster that requires 3 tributes a little bit easier. And most spell cards these days have a graveyard effect, which is necessary for it to see any play. So the ability to get your Winged Dragon of Ra up to its stats if you've been able to tribute higher strength monsters means that you might be able to one-shot your opponent, OTK them, if not at least bring them to a level that you feel comfortable with. It's decent support, and we'll see what else we've got here. So the next card is Millenium Revelation. This is a continuous spell card, and you can use each effect among the first and second effects with this card's name only once per turn. 1, you can send one Divine Beast monster from your hand to the graveyard to add one Monster Reborn from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And 2, you can send this face-up card from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard. For the rest of the turn, you can special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra from your graveyard with your Monster Reborn effect, ignoring the summoning conditions. But during this turn's end phase, you must send to the graveyard all the Winged Dragon of Ra that was special summoned by the effect of Monster Reborn. Okay, so this is I would say it's a little bit like that Torrential Tribute Searcher. There have been a few cards that are now bringing out specific powerful cards that were on the ban list, such as Monster Reborn and Torrential Tribute, back to the game. The ability to use Monster Reborn more than once in a duel is actually quite decent, but recovery cards such as Magician of Faith have been long gone out of the game because they're seen as too slow, especially being a flip effect monster. This is able to just instantly search it, and you're able to pitch one of your Egyptian gods to the graveyard. They can actually be summoned from the graveyard, and that's actually a good thing as well, because even though the whole thing about them being destroyed and sent to the graveyard at the end of the turn isn't so much of an issue, as their effect does that anyway. If they're summoned from anywhere, if they're summoned from the graveyard, they go back to the graveyard. So this isn't really a cost for you. Being able to summon multiple the Winged Dragon of Ra's is always a decent effect. If you're able to get a few out, you might be able to overwhelm your opponent and basically make the duel much easier to win. And the final card is called One with the Sun God. This is a continuous trap card, and its effect is you can activate the first and second effects with this card's name in the same card's name in the same chain. While you control a monster whose original name is the Winged Dragon of Ra, you can activate this card during the turn it was set. One, during either player's main phase, you can pay life points so that you only have 100 left. Choose one special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra you control, and if you do, it gains attack and defense equal to the amount of life points paid. And 2, once per turn, you contribute one Winged Dragon of Ra you control, gain life points equal to the attack it had on the field. So this card is actually very similar to how the Winged Dragon of Ra was played in the anime itself. The whole idea was to be able to get rid of a lot of your life points, you're able to boost your life points to a certain level, and try and then boost Ra to a certain level of attack points, so you could OTK your opponent. So I can see that being part of how this is going to work. But the whole second part of the ability as well is necessary, because bringing your life points down to 100 is never a good idea. If that first effect was all it could do, I would say it's very prone to burn effects. You're liable to lose from anything from Trick Stars to just Chain Burn, just get rid of you. I mean, you would have Hinotama, and you would have all these memes to do with Sparks coming into effect. Having the second option is a good thing especially if your Winged Dragon of Ra is targeted by a spell or trap card or a monster effect, and it's going to be destroyed anyway. By targeting it with this second effect, you can at least get the life point gain to bring your life points to a point where you might be able to survive the turn and then be able to come back with the victory. What do you guys think of the new support that Marek has been given? Is there anything you like in here? Personally, I like most of the support. I think it actually works well with what the deck is trying to do. I remember I like the name with this one, One with the Sun God, because Marek very much became part of the Winged Dragon of Ra at a stage in the finals with Yugi versus Marek. So it's trying to stick to the original kind of thought process of what the Winged Dragon of Ra is and how Marek ran his deck. Is there any cards you don't like out of the new support? And do you think we're going to get any other support, or is this all that's going to be around? Leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe.